All right, the Bank of Canada just made a move, and if you're anywhere near the Edmonton real estate market, you're going to want to pay attention. It doesn't matter if you're buying, selling, or just staying put, this rate cut changes the math for everyone. So let's break down exactly what this means for you right here in Edmonton. But before we even get to the rate cut, we got to ask, why is Edmonton's market so supercharged in the first place? Well, it all comes down to this number right here. 9%. That is the jaw-dropping population growth the city saw in just 2 years. That is a ton of new people, all looking for a place to call home, and it's creating some serious demand. And look, this kind of growth doesn't just happen by accident. It's all part of a much bigger story. A story that's turned Edmonton into one of the most talked about real estate markets in the entire country. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, a recent REMAX report put Edmonton as the #2 fastest growing market in Canada. And it's because it has this perfect storm of real affordability, good economic opportunities, and all the perks of a major city. It's just drawing people in from all over. And REMAX Canada really hit the nail on the head with this one. It's about being able to come here, put down roots, and actually build a life without being completely financially drained. It's about that quality of life. And in today's Canada, that is a huge deal. Okay, so you've got this market that's already buzzing with energy, right? And then this happens. On October 29th, a catalyst gets dropped right into the middle of it all. The Bank of Canada steps up and makes a decision that sends ripples through the whole system. And here it is, the big news. A quarter-point cut to the Bank of Canada's policy rate. Now I know, 0.25% might not sound like a massive number, but a move like this, it's like dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples spread out and touch everything, from your mortgage payments to how confident buyers are feeling. And this is where you can see that domino effect in action. Literally. The Bank of Canada rate drops, and boom, like clockwork, you see the big commercial banks immediately follow suit, dropping their own prime lending rate right along with it. Okay, so the timing here is absolutely key. You got to understand how this rolls out. Day 1, the Bank of Canada acts. Day 2, the commercial banks adjust their prime rates. But hang on, look at that last point. Fixed rates? Yeah, they play by a whole different set of rules, and we're about to get into why. All right, enough with the high-level economic stuff. Let's bring this right down to your kitchen table. How does this decision actually hit your wallet and affect your monthly budget? Okay, this slide right here, this is maybe the most important thing to wrap your head around. If you have a variable rate mortgage or a HELOC, your rate is basically handcuffed to the bank's prime rate. It goes down, your interest costs go down almost instantly. Fixed mortgages, though, they're a different beast. They're priced based on what's happening with government bond yields, so the changes aren't direct or immediate. So let's talk real money. What does this actually look like in your bank account? Here's a super simple rule of thumb you can use. For every 100 grand you have on a variable rate mortgage, this little cut saves you about $21 a month. Okay, so let's take that rule of thumb and apply it to a real-world scenario. On a pretty standard $450,000 mortgage here in Edmonton, that works out to about $95 back in your pocket every single month. Now, is that going to let you retire tomorrow? No, but hey, in a city where every dollar counts, that could be the little bit of breathing room you need to finally make an offer. All right, this is the part you've been waiting for. We know what happened. We know why it matters. So what's your move? What do you actually do with this information? Here's a playbook for you, whether you're a buyer, a seller, or a homeowner. Buyers, listen up. Your homework for today, literally right after this, is to call your mortgage broker and get that pre-approval refreshed. Your borrowing power just got a little boost. Make sure you look at both the new fixed and variable options. That little bit of extra cash could be the key that unlocks a neighborhood you thought was just out of reach, like Edgemont or Seacourt. Okay, sellers, this is good news for you, for sure. You should expect more eyeballs on your listing, but, and this is a big but, do not make the mistake of thinking this rate cut is some kind of magic wand that will sell an overpriced home. It won't. You've got to price your home for right now, based on sales from the last few weeks. Then, nail your launch to catch this new wave of buyers in those first critical 10 days. All right, what if you're already a homeowner, just sitting tight? Well, if you're renewing in the next year, it's time to start shopping around. And here's a pro tip. If your mortgage is uninsured, you can often switch lenders at renewal without having to do the stress test again. And for all of you on a variable rate, be smart with that extra cash. Use it to pay down your principal faster or start a fund for home repairs. Okay, we've gone through the news, the nitty-gritty mechanics, and what you need to do personally. So let's just zoom out one last time and think about what's next for the Edmonton market as a whole. This chart really gives you a feel for the new vibe in the market. Of course, buyer confidence is up, and that affordability edge just got a little sharper. But I want you to look at the other side of this chart. Strategy, planning. This is not a free-for-all. It's about making smart, calculated moves. And honestly, this right here might be the most important takeaway from this whole explainer. The Bank of Canada itself has said it thinks rates are appropriately set. Let me translate that for you. Do not bank on more rate cuts. Build a plan for stability and make sure your budget can handle things as they are right now. So there you have it. The board has been reset. A market that was already hot just got a little jolt of confidence and cash flow. The real question, the only one that matters now, is for you. What's your next move?